Welcome everyone, this is Andres Restart, and I think we should talk about the Game Awards last night. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I didn't plan on streaming the Game Awards. I had some family festivities to attend to, and I don't regret not streaming the Game Awards. Not too much surprise, because every time the Game Awards comes around, we hype it up, we think about things that could be there. There is a history of things being there, but typically when we expect the bigger, amazing, exciting things, we usually get something smaller, and so there is disappointment. And this year, that seems to be similar, except this time, despite the long history of there being at least something from Nintendo at the Game Awards, there wasn't really anything. And so now people are questioning, what's going on? What happened to all the rumored announcements? Well, that's what we're talking about today. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and enjoy the ride as we talk about Nintendo every day. So while I was hopeful we could get something amazing during the Game Awards, I was expecting something smaller but still okay, and prepared to just see that and not get something amazing like a Zelda remake or a Metroid Prime 4. And the reason why I thought we would get something is because that's what history tells us. Let me just go over the history real quick here. 2013, Nintendo revealed Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. 2014, we saw a bit of Breath of the Wild. 2015, there was no game announcements, but that was the year that Satoru Iwata passed away, so we had the Iwata tribute. 2016, Breath of the Wild. 2017, the year Switch came out, we got Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3, as well as the Champions Ballad DLC for Breath of the Wild, while it took Game of the Year. 2018, Smash Ultimate was coming out, same day, and they revealed the first character in the Fires Pass, Joker from Persona. But also, they announced Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. In 2019, we got an announcement for Bravely Default 2, and No More Heroes 3 was there as well. Technically not a published Nintendo title, but a Switch-timed exclusive. 2020, they revealed Sephiroth and Smash Bros. In 2021, there was no Nintendo published title, but there was the trailer for Monster Hunter Rise's Sunbreak expansion, which also, Monster Hunter Rise, a Switch-timed exclusive. And then in 2022, we got the announcements for Bayonetta Origins and the DLC for Fire Emblem Engage. So every year, there's been something worthy of note if you're a big Nintendo fan. And this year, there wasn't. So then, what's going on? Well, I think it should be noted that the Pokemon trailer, the Scarlet and Violet Indigo Disc trailer that was promised yesterday morning, did come, and the bulk of Nintendo news in the morning was a whole bunch of details on the DLC that's coming out in just a week. So that is pretty significant Nintendo information that happened on the day of the Game Awards. And technically, there was another bit of news that came out before the Pokemon trailer that was fairly significant as well. So here, today marks 5 years since the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Commemorating the anniversary, a special 5-day Spirit event will be held starting on December 7th. Get 5 times the amount of EXP and SP from battles during the event, and 5 extra Snack L items. And also, starting January 2024, a total of 4 new Smash Ultimate Spirit events featuring new spirits are planned. There will also be a tag team tournament to enter alongside amiibo that you've trained. So technically, some new little content has been announced. There is a Smash Ultimate anniversary plan, and they are celebrating it here. And it is interesting because Smash Ultimate came out December 7th, 2018. The Game Awards back then, and so the day of the Game Awards here, we're getting Smash news. And there's been some speculations that perhaps there's something bigger going on with Smash Brothers in the background, behind the scenes. That may be the case. We'll talk more about that in another video, another day. But point is, we got Smash news, we got Pokemon news, and that's not it actually. There was more. There was actually some substantial news that came out during the Game Awards show, but apparently not at the Game Awards show. And that is the announcement of Harvest Moon 64, 1080 Snowboarding, and Jet Force Gemini all being available now, well, when they announced it yesterday, on Nintendo Switch Online for expansion pack members. This is actually unprecedented. We might get one N64 game in a month, but 3? That's never happened before, and they were shadow dropped. So that is news, and it's pretty big news. We've never gotten that many N64 games in one just go. It's very odd, it's very peculiar, but I guess the intent behind it was to put out some good stuff for Nintendo fans during the Game Awards, which is literally what happened. So technically, wasn't at the Game Awards show, but December 7th was a pretty big day for Nintendo fans. We got significant Pokemon news, we had surprising Smash news, and we had very surprising Nintendo Switch Online news with 3 different N64 games to play. All amazing games, I might add. However, there were a number of things that we thought might show up that didn't. So the big one is Another Code Recollection. We heard that there would be a trailer and a demo put out immediately. And this info came out from PRO. Now, a couple things. When we talked about this, we noted how there wasn't any sort of date suggested, just a demo incoming. So we don't know the timing on this. I suggested it could even happen Friday, which would be today when this video comes out, or sometime next week. Of course, I was thinking there was a fantastic chance it would happen at the Game Awards, given that this announcement came out the day beforehand. However, PRO does have a tendency to put out information and let others misinterpret it to perhaps out the fake leakers. And so this may have been one of their moves. They have a long history of getting everything right, so this could be the first example of them getting something wrong, but I'm going to give it a week or two before I start jumping to such a conclusion, because they literally have gotten everything right. Just an example, Outer Wilds, they talked about that. Let's go back even further. Mario vs. Donkey Kong they teased. F-Zero 99 they teased. Just some examples. But what's extra interesting about this is that a leaker that we don't really talk about on occasion when, for whatever reason, it seems extremely relevant, but usually don't because of the poor track record, talked about us getting Princess Peach Showtime and Another Code Recollection during the Game Awards. They said to not expect much, that this year would be kind of disappointing. There would not be a Metroid Prime 4, there would not be a Switch 2, so you might think, oh, well, they were on to something, but you could say those are fairly safe predictions, and the things they did say would be there did not show up there in any capacity. So, does this mean Zippo is a complete sham? You may think so. There have been times where Zippo seems to have been on point. I will venture to guess that at the very least, I think they mix in a lot of their own speculation. And when you're putting in your own speculation, well, Nintendo's extremely hard to predict, so you're going to be wrong a lot. That's just how it is. So, it may be the case that they do have sources on occasion, but because they mix in their own speculation, and that's not always made clear which speculation or a leak, they're wrong a lot. Of course, they've been right sometimes, so very, very occasionally, sometimes I think, well, could there be something here? Like a while ago, they mentioned the Hero of Time is returning. This was during our big sort of hype excitement for getting something Zelda related this year, and we did get that. That was an announcement for a Zelda movie, and it doesn't look like it was going to be for a Wind Waker HD, a Twilight Princess HD, or maybe something even crazier like a Twilight Princess remake or an Ocarina of Time remake. And we thought that from the Dr. Sokarantoa tweet where he said ZR 2023. It may have just been for the movie. And so a lot of the speculations about other things, it doesn't seem that the Zelda stuff is happening yet. But that's what I want to kind of focus on here, the Zelda stuff first. There will be Zelda stuff. They just haven't shown it at the Game Awards. Does this mean that there won't be an Ocarina of Time remake? Well, something I've tried to clarify, I think an Ocarina of Time remake makes a lot of sense. But it is speculation. So we don't know what Nintendo's actually doing. But history suggests that they will do something Zelda before their next big Zelda game that likely is repurposing a prior Zelda, and they've already remastered all the 3D Zeldas outside of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So I do think something like this may happen, but that's a calculated guess or prediction. Of course, we've made calculated guesses before, like Thousand Year Door remakes, Super Mario RPG remake. They do happen, may take a few years, but when something makes sense, it oftentimes does happen eventually. Now, one leaker we talked about yesterday that I'm kind of wondering about also is Nash Weedle. Now, they had responded to Nintendo of España's tweet with a Wind Waker Link GIF, and so people were thinking, is Nash Weedle hinting at a Wind Waker HD? Of course, it was just a GIF in response to Nintendo speculating on Link right before the Game Awards, so there wasn't anything clearly said here. But Nash Weedle did also post the number 3 the day before the Game Awards, and it was a very interesting cryptic tweet. And as it turned out, we got 3 different N64 games on December 7th during the Game Awards show. So, Nash Weedle may still have some information, maybe. It's not 100% because that could just be a lucky guess, but he could have said 1, he could have said 2, he could have said 4, 5, or 6, he said 3. And 3 was an interesting number with this shocking surprise announcement of 3 N64 games in one shot. But considering everything we got announced from Nintendo and what wasn't showing off at the Game Awards and what was announced at the Game Awards, like Monster Hunter Wilds, that's a big amazing Monster Hunter game that's rumored to be coming to Switch 2. Vision of Mana, a game that was announced that isn't coming to Switch, but the Mana series has been really big on Switch, so people are wondering if maybe this is going to be a Switch 2 title. And then we had a number of new next-generation Sega games all announced at the same time. There's a little bit of a growing sentiment that maybe we're starting to see some of these third-party games that will be on Switch 2, and the speculation is that Switch 2 will be coming out next year, with Nintendo not announcing anything about their games during the Game Awards. With there being no DLC announcements made, this could be something that we can take to mean that, yeah, Nintendo is just transitioning over to their next generation. That's why there wasn't any crazy announcements at the Game Awards, or even anything comparable to even last year, where we got Bayonetta Origins and Fire Emblem Engage. It's because they didn't think another code should be shown off at the Game Awards. They didn't think they should talk more about Mario vs. Donkey Kong. They didn't think they should talk about Princess Peach Showtime during the Game Awards. And they had no DLC to announce for things like Mario Wonder or Pikmin 4. Ultimately because they may not be doing DLC because they're getting ready for the next generation, and they're not going to be announcing any other new games because the other new games may be for their next system, which they're not ready to announce yet. That may be the case. When you think about the news we did get with Smash, Pokemon, and the N64 games, but also Pikmin 4 won Best Strategy Game, Mario Wonder won Best Family Game, and Tears of the Kingdom won Best Action Adventure Game, which to me is basically the consolation prize for not winning Game of the Year, which went to Baldur's Gate 3 as most people expected. And that's fine. Tears of the Kingdom is still my personal Game of the Year. But what do you make of all the different things that happened surrounding the Game Awards? Did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the announcements? Or are you waiting for the other things that are to come beyond? Let me know in the comments below. This is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.